Arsenal achieving everything they can at the moment, but will they get their hands on the trophy come the end of the season? With me and Wrighty in the studio, Karen Carney and Natalie Gedra, and it's what is now becoming a bit of a tradition. It's the Ian Wright celebration to the third goal.
you don't have to show it. You know, it was all over by now.
We will anyway.
Oh, what a goal.
This is a rout, by the way.
Exhibition!
You enjoying your football at the moment?
Honestly, it's brilliant. It's brilliant because the guys they're doing it, they're getting it done, and they're doing it in the way that Mikel wants us to play. And, you know, it's nice to see people playing well in the formation, you know, because that's what you've got to do, because otherwise people close you down. If you're not playing well, you give the ball away in certain areas. I didn't think Fulham were very good, simply because they weren't closing us down. They didn't know what they were doing, so they played into our hands. And you can't do that with Arsenal at the moment.
No, they crumbled a bit, didn't they, in the later stages of the game? Maybe not even the later stages, the later stages of the first half, maybe. Yeah. But when you look at Arsenal, the way this season has panned out for them, and the hurdles in terms of too small a squad to cope with an injury, then they get a major injury, they get past that. This is going to be really difficult for them. They've got a period where for a few weeks Manchester City play first. Will they cope with the pressure if City can get closer to them? Will they cope with Manchester City beating them at the Emirates? And each time, it seems so far, they've been able to get over that hurdle.
Yeah, and you know what? The manager, there's no excuses. He just keeps going. There's a belief within him, and he's cold. He just wants keep pushing. And I think, was it that in the training ground, there's an empty piece waiting for the Premier League, someone was saying. And, you know, Mikel Arteta, when you obviously walking past that every day and he's going there, driving the club, driving the culture, you can see why there's no excuses and why those little bumps that we keep going, that's a bump. They just keep getting over it, no problem. And you know, against Fulham have been doing well, you know, overachieving perhaps some people might say, but nevertheless, they're up there and been doing well. It was seamless against them. They absolutely turned them over. The style, the intensity, some of the football they were playing. If you're going to go and watch a team perform, it would be Arsenal at the moment.
Of course, there was the transfer window and they did really well with Trossard, but they found this way. I remember the Leicester match when he first played with Trossard and Martinelli and Saka, and speaking to Martinelli afterwards, and he was like, oh no, that really works, because it's a reference that he had already with Gabriel Jesus, and Arteta saw that in Trossard, and now they have a good problem because Gabriel is coming back, but now they have different ways to attack. They had a problem, and not only they found a solution, they found other solutions as well.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Trossard, or do you want to talk about the return of Jesus? Which are you more excited about?
I think you have to mention Trossard because of the fact that he came in when he came in, and remember, he wasn't even the first choice, which has really fallen into our lap. But he's somebody that came in and he's ready to go. And from the first game to now, he's just got better and better at what he's doing. Because, like I say, with Gabriel, with Martinelli, I think that what happened with him and Eddie...
You can't say Gabriel because there's three of them.
with Gabby Martinelli. I think that you saw with him and Eddie, as much as Eddie came in and he kind of plugged that gap for a bit, scored some goals, and it got us to the next phase. What was happening is people started to work us out a bit. Because what we found with Gabby, he was kind of isolated on that left. When you look at Saka, he's got Ben White coming round, he's got Martin Odegaard coming across, but then you've got Zinchenko maybe too far from Gabby. Gabby's up there on his own. By the time the ball gets across there, Kaz, he's like two players and he's trying to take them on. Whereas when Jesus is playing, they swap, they move around, and Trossard does the same. They swap and move around, and you look at the goals that Gabby scored recently as well. And Trossard, they're both in the middle of the goal when they're scoring their goals. So that's something that's come back, which Jesus will then bring back even more, because that's what he does. Very aggressive, hard runner, hard worker, interchanging spaces. It's very exciting now because, like you mentioned, Kels, people talking about when he's gone, what they're going to do when he goes, and kind of dealt with it, and now he's back. So we should be very excited about that. Yeah,
on Trossard, he's got a hat-trick when he was playing for Brighton against Liverpool, got a hat-trick of assists in this game for Arsenal against Fulham, and he's enjoying this one, nearly as much. But it is, I think what Natalie was saying about the fact that players can come in and slot into a particular position is maybe what's keeping the wheels running smoothly in this Arsenal team.
No, definitely. And it's been interesting to see the solutions, because You see a team that's hungry for titles, that's clearly very angry. They really want to win this thing, so they are willing to find the solutions, to do different things. And we're always talking about the passion, because it's been 20 years, and the passion and the emotional wins. Arsenal won like yesterday against Fulham. They won like Man City was winning a couple of seasons ago. You know, they were just ruthless. It was a parade. It was just, and it was Fulham. When I watched when I saw the fixture list, I was like, Fulham away. I don't know. It's tricky. It's a tricky one, and they made it look easy, and that's winning like a champion as well, because you always think about the big wins, the last minute goal and just fighting until the end. But that's winning like a champion too, because Man City did it for a couple of seasons, playing like that. And now Arsenal also shows this type of maturity. You
know what you have to look at? There's a pattern emerging with Arsenal, is how they start and when they score the first goal. When they score the first goal, they do go on to really control and finish the game off. And I think that's what happened. It happened at Leicester as well, even though they didn't go on and smash it. Leicester didn't have a shot on target. And when you look at what happened with Villa, when you concede the first goal, Arsenal, when you see what happened at Everton, when you see Bournemouth, it gets frantic. It gets frantic. And that's what, at the start of the season, Arsenal was doing. They were scoring first, and they were really blasting teams. And it's almost like that's their superpower, and you can't get back at them. And I feel that at the moment, it's very exciting, because we need to make sure that we do score that first goal, because I don't want to go through Bournemouth again for a start. You know, it was too much. And then they scored again. It wasn't fun. But that's what I'm trying to see, if people are going to try and see if they can close us down in that respect, and kind of like not let Arsenal start that fast, you know, so as they can try and quell the intensity.